Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another segment of A Minute with Mom TV. I am so beyond happy that you clicked on this video because I really am trying to be intentional about what I put on this channel and the messages that I bring to you all. And today I feel what I have to share is very important, very life-giving, and just very encouraging to those of you who might find yourself in the same place as me. And I can only share from a place of transparency and authenticity. And so that is my intention behind sharing these types of videos, is that I really am pulling from my own life experience. And sometimes they're in real time. Sometimes they're lessons that are still in process, like the one that I'm about to share with you today. So if you want to grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and a cozy place to sit and listen and hear, grab a notebook if you want to take notes. I mean, I'm not a teacher like that, but you might find something useful in what I'm saying. So let's jump right into this video. So I want to talk to you guys and share with you about a moment that I'm having in real time with myself. And that moment involves me reclaiming certain things in my life that I feel I either let go of or was siphoned by outside entities or just stolen from me. Not like physically, but emotionally, mentally, psychologically, that kind of thing. And one of the things that I'm realizing was stolen from me was my love and appreciation for fitness and exercise and working out. And I uncovered a gem this weekend in just talking and sharing with my husband about my experiences growing up and how I once loved exercise and how it became weaponized, so to speak, from my family in the way in which they kind of used it as a weapon to punish me, so to speak. And I'll explain what I mean by punish in a minute. But I am 47 years old now and finding myself having to go back to when did I fall out of love with fitness? When was the moment? What was the moment that it was no longer fun for me? And I really was surprised that it wasn't in my adulthood that I fell out of fitness. It was actually in my childhood. And so as I was just kind of sharing with my husband and kind of verbally mapping out what happened surrounding the beginning of me falling out of love with fitness to where I am currently today, which is trying to fall back in love with fitness. It was just very interesting to me that it never dawned on me that I could go back to that moment and reclaim it today for me right now until I was in that conversation with my husband. So let me take you back to the conversation so you can have a full picture and understanding and appreciation for what I'm talking about. So when I was 12 years old, there was a popular exercise program that came on the ESPN channel, and it only came on ESPN, and it was a morning workout program. And I freaking loved that program. I loved it for several different reasons. Number one, they were outside in Hawaii. They were often by the ocean or some beautiful setting in the background. And it just looked so serene and pretty and clean and beautiful. And I was attracted to that. Number two, everyone in the workout video or the workout program seemed so happy to be there and just smiling faces and just, these beautiful, gorgeous, sculpted bodies that just were powerful and could do all of these cool exercises and barely breaking a sweat, but having the time of their lives. And I just thought that was so intriguing and interesting. And I wanted to be a part of that. Number three is a little bit vain, the outfits. Okay, can we talk about the 80s leotards with the slouchy socks and your high top Reeboks and your hair snatched up in a high ponytail? And yeah, I was there for all of it. And I was just like, I want to be that. I want to do that at 12 years old. And so I remember digging through my drawers, finding my leotards and putting them on, getting my slouchy socks and my Reebok sneakers and dressing up in the mornings to participate with this workout program. The only problem was we did not have the ESPN channel at my house. So the only time that I could actually do this program was at my aunt's house when we would go visit regularly on the weekends. So I would live for those moments so that I could get a chance to do the workout. And eventually we got cable and I was able to do them at home, and I enjoyed doing them at home. And that became kind of my thing for me, that I looked forward to doing it. At the time, I wasn't trying to lose weight or anything like that. I was just having fun. And the bonus was I'm doing something healthy for my body, but it didn't really connect to me, the health side of things. I was more, if I'm being honest, I was more in it for the glamour and the glitz of it all, with the outfits and everything. And I liked lifting the weights. I did like that part. So here I am, 12 years old. I'm doing these workouts and loving just how it's making me feel, but not really old enough to understand that I actually was doing something great for my body. Now, growing up, I had seen my mom yo-yo diet. I had seen her do fad diets. I had seen her do crash diets. I had seen her gain and lose weight, join gyms, quit gyms, and all of those things. So I was already kind of indoctrinated into diet culture at a very young age. Adding insult to injury, I was also in a family that was very body conscious. So my grandmother and my mom were very hyper conscious of my body, and they seemed to constantly be calling out my flaws at any given moment, and more so my grandmother than my mom. My mom would kind of come in on the back end, but my grandmother was more the driving force that would kind of body shame me. As early as 7, 8 years old, she would say things like, oh, you're getting too fat, oh, you eat too much. Or there were times, sadly, that she would literally stand me up in front of my best friend who lived down the street from me and compare our bodies. My best friend was very, very thin, like very thin. And she didn't like being thin, as a matter of fact. And she was miserable being thin, and I was miserable being what I thought was fat, because that's what they were telling me. But the truth is, when I look back at my photos, I was not fat. I was a little bit on the chunky side, but I wasn't anything close to being a fat child. But that's what they told me, and that's what I believed. And so that's what I became, sadly to say. And so, by the time I found that workout program, I wasn't even trying to fix myself or anything like that. Like I said, I just found something that I liked, that made me feel good, that made me feel pretty, that made me feel acceptable. And I didn't do it for my mom. I didn't do it for my grandmother. I did it for me because it's what I liked. And I cherished those moments, however far and few between they came. Because remember, I didn't have the cable channel at first, so I could only do it at certain times. But whenever I did do it, I felt good about what I was doing. So fast forward, I'm 12 years old. We've gotten our cable situation figured out. I'm doing my workout videos, and my mom decides that she's going to join another gym. And so she takes us along, me and my sister, she takes us along with her to go sign up for the gym. And I'm a little bit excited because I'm older now. And I'm getting to walk on the inside of a gym. And on the inside of a gym, they have all the workout equipment, like not just the dumbbells, but the workout machines. And I want to get on said workout machines. And so I remember being so excited and asking my mom, hey, do you think they will let me join as well. And she says, well, we can ask them. So we get in there, the lady comes in to give us the sales pitch and everything. And this lady is gorgeous. As a matter of fact, she looks very similar to some of the ladies that I saw on my workout program. Same type of leotards, the makeup is in place, the nails are cute, the hair is done, and she just looks fabulous. Her body is sculpted and she looks amazing. And I am geeking out on the inside because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting to meet a fitness person. Now, I knew that she wasn't on that show, but she was the closest representation to, in real life, to someone like that. And so I was just enamored with the whole process of it all and just soaking every bit of it up and just looking at how she talks and her movements and just admiring this woman and just saying, yeah, I definitely want to be in this field at some point in time. And so I really was like, I want to become a fitness trainer when I grow up. I want to be like this lady. I want to do what she does. And the lady was very nice and bubbly and just made us feel welcome and nice and everything. And so my mom asks her, can my daughter join because she wants to start working out too? The only problem was I had to be 13. And so I couldn't join the gym. And my little heart was just so crushed because I was so close to being on the inside of a gym and getting to get on the equipment and pump some iron and make muscles and all of that. And I was here for it. And so when she said, no, I'm sorry, you have to be 13, I was just absolutely crushed. My sister could join because she was older than me. So she got to join. And her and my mom got to work out, but I had to sit in the waiting room because there was no way I was going to sit in the nursery with the babies. Like, she was not having that, okay? But I just remember sitting the first time that they went, sitting in the waiting room and just feeling so dejected and feeling so disappointed that I could not participate in the way that I wanted to. And the lady noticed my disappointment and she made a concession for us. And so she calls my mom aside and she says, you know what? She's 12, which technically is not the age. You have to be 13. However, I'm going to make a concession for you. How about I let you ride the bicycles, but that's all you can do. So when your mom comes, you can do the bicycles. And then when you're done with the bicycle, you can go back and wait for your mom and your sister to be done. How does that sound? I'm like, wonderful. This is my in. I am beyond excited because now I'm getting to be a part of the environment that I love so much, that I'm learning to love so much. So I was so excited and happy. So we're in the office, we're finishing up the paperwork. And I don't know when the vibe turned, but it turned. And it turned sour, like really quick. And so as the lady is helping us with the paperwork and finalizing everything, she's getting to know us, she's talking to us, she's getting to know us. And the subject of like sibling rivalry comes up. And that's when it kind of all went left for me, in that my sister began to share her truth, or what she thought was her truth and her perspective of our relationship, the dynamics of our sister relationship. And the way that she was conveying it, it made it seem as though I was just being a brat and, disrespectful and not wanting to listen to her. That was her opinion. However, that was not the case for me. I had a very different experience than what my sister was telling the lady. And in that moment, the lady who I was admiring and just wanting so much to be like, she kind of turned on me. And she began to berate me in the office and lecture me on the importance of listening to my older sister without ever asking me my side of things, without ever, knowing any background to the nature of our relationship, which was not healthy, which was quite dysfunctional, and what I would describe as a very dysfunctional power imbalance. And so she goes in on me and she's like, you need to listen to your sister. That's your sister. That's your only sister. You need to listen to her. You need to respect her. You're younger. You'll always be younger. She'll always be older than you. And you just need to listen to her. And I just remember sitting there being angry inside, but not allowed to express it, because I was also told that, you respect your elders, you don't talk back, you don't say nasty things or anything like that. And by this time in my life, I had already experienced a lot of trauma. So I was already kind of trained to just sit and be quiet and internalize everything and make nice like everything is okay when I know everything is not okay. And so this lady is going in on me, and my sister is sitting there looking smug and satisfied because she's gotten what she wants, which is for, somebody to tell me about myself, which makes her in turn feel great about herself. And if that gives you any indication of the dynamic there, I don't think I need to say anymore. And so with all of that being said and done in that moment, something inside of me just broke. And I just remember feeling like I don't want to be here anymore. I don't like this woman, A. She knows nothing about me, B. She didn't even ask me my side of things, C. And she's talking to me in a way as if she's so sure that she knows who I am and how I am and understands me. And it just didn't sit well with me at all. And I just remember feeling a lot of judgment. I remember feeling like, gee, I can't win for losing. I can't seem to please anybody. I can't please my family because they don't like the way that I look. I certainly don't please my sister because she thinks whatever it is that she thinks about me. And now here is a stranger that's kind of confirming all the things that I'm believing are being said to me through my family. So in my 12-year-old mind, if they think this way about me and then this stranger is thinking this about me, then something must be wrong with me. And that was one of the beginning moments where I began to resent fitness. And it's not even like there was a direct correlation, but it's the way that I experienced that woman in that environment that it did something inside of me. It just soured everything that I loved about fitness. And being 12 years old, I didn't have the tools or the emotional maturity to be able to say, okay, one has nothing to do with the other. I saw it as one thing. So that's where it all started. And from there, it just kind of snowballed into me having horrible experiences with exercise, fitness, and anything health related. And so from that moment on, it turned into from my grandmother, speaking bad, ill of me about my weight, to this stranger confirming. In my mind, I felt like she was just confirming everything that was being said about me from my family. To now, fast forward, I'm about 13 years old. And my mom, once again, on her yo-yo dieting journey, dragging me along, because remember, the messaging that I'm receiving is you're fat, you're fat, you're fat. You need to lose weight. You need to lose weight. So my mom took me to what was called Doctor's Quick Weight Loss. And in that moment, she took me to this place. She's like, hey, I'm going to sign up for this place and you need to sign up too. And it was me, my mom, and my aunt. Of course, sister is there too, but she doesn't need to because she's not fat. She's perfectly fine. And so she's just coming along for the ride. And here I am at 13 years old being put on a scale, being weighed and blood pressure taken. And then now I have to pee on a stick. And when I pee on the stick, it has to turn purple. And if the stick turns purple, that means I'm in ketosis. And if it does not turn purple, that means I'm not in ketosis and I'm not eating the foods that I need to eat correctly. So back then, I didn't understand what any of this was, but now I'm realizing basically I was on a keto diet. I was placed on a ketogenic diet at the age of 13. And every Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I was brought to this building, this place, Doctor's Quick Weight Loss, and I was put on a scale to see how I did for the week. Can I tell you the trepidation, the judgment, the shame, the guilt, the pressure, and so forth that I felt at 13 years old? And very rarely did my stick ever turn purple. I'm just going to say that right out the bat, because I'm 13 years old, given a piece of paper, and on one side are all the foods that I can have, and then on the other side are all the foods that I cannot have. And I'm told you have to eat through all the foods that you can have. And what's on there is things like rice crackers, dried tuna, no dressing, beets, all the things that a 13-year-old does not like to eat, okay? And I can't eat Doritos like the other kids. I can't have a chocolate chip cookie. I can't eat the Oreos. I can't eat any of the things that all my other friends are eating. So imagine me at 13 years old at school, and everybody's eating the pizza and the pizza rolls, and I'm at the salad bar. And everybody is just glopping on the Thousand Islands dressing, and I'm looking at the cottage cheese like, I don't know how I'm going to swallow that, because I don't like cottage cheese, and there's not much on this salad bar that I really even want to eat. So I'm ending up with literally lettuce and tuna. No dressing, because that's on the no-no side. If I want dressing, it has to be vinaigrette, something like balsamic vinaigrette and olive oil. What 13-year-old do you know that eats that? Maybe today, maybe, I don't know, but I have teenagers and they don't like that either. Okay, so I digress. So here I am at 13 years old, being put on this scale once a week, measured and talked to by a nurse in the facility. And, the more I engaged with this woman, because my mom is bringing me, the more a resentment is growing inside of me. Like, my mindset at that time was like, why do I have to do this? Why is it just me that has to do this? Why isn't my sister doing this? Why do I feel like I'm being picked on? And why can't I just be accepted for who I am? And what is so incredibly wrong with me that I'm in dire need to change? And I wish I had a picture to show you what I looked like at 13. I don't even know that. I will try to put it at the end of this video so you could see what they were calling fat. When I look back at that picture today, I don't see a fat child. I see a child that's still developing. I see a child that has not fully come into her own yet. Was I a little thick around the middle? Just a little bit, but nothing out of the ordinary by any stretch of the imagination. I was normal for all intents and purposes. But when you grow up in a household that projects their issues onto you as a child, you don't know any better. And this just speaks to the importance of what you say to children and how you say it, how you make them feel. When you tell a child in their developing stages what they are and who they are, they believe you. They believe you. So if you tell a child they're stupid, they're going to think they're stupid. If you tell a child they're smart, they're going to think they're smart. If you tell a child that they're fat and they need to fix their body, they're going to believe that they're fat and they need to fix their body. And so there are so many layers that goes into behind my story that I could not possibly get through in a video. I'm already at 24 minutes. But I said all of that to give you context for the next thing that I'm about to say. Those experiences definitely shaped my self-esteem, my self-image, the way I saw myself, how I felt about myself, what I told myself, what I believed about myself. Those moments, and those are just two that I told you of. There were so many other moments that shaped and formed such a very negative self-view of myself. And so that followed me throughout my life, hence the up and down, the up and down. And my weight has been something that I have always struggled to get under control and could never seem to win the struggle, and have always been trying to figure out what is it that I lack in accomplishing weight loss and sustaining it that other people seem to have. And I think I know the answer. I don't know 100%. I am still on this journey, and I'm not giving up. But I think part of that answer, it is my belief, what my belief about who I am, what I'm capable of, right? And so I've always approached my weight loss journey with this mindset of I need to fix it. And that is rooted in the physical abuse that I experienced as a child from my mother as well. So my mom had a very volatile temper, and she became physically abusive with me at a very young age. And so one of my trauma responses was, if I saw that she was about to go off, pop off, or anything like that, my immediate thing was hurry up and fix it. Because the faster I can fix it, the faster I can get her to calm down and possibly avoid a beating, okay? But it didn't always work. Now, transfer that to the whole body image thing. When I'm stepping on a scale every Wednesday and the nurse is like, your stick didn't turn purple. What am I thinking? Hurry up and fix it. So this is kind of like the whole mindset that I've approached weight loss my entire life. Hurry up and fix it. I've been hurrying my whole doggone life. It ain't fixed yet. Very much like I could never seem to please my mom. I could never seem to attain that goal that would keep her satisfied and not yelling at me. Very rarely did I ever succeed in that arena until about age 15 or so, where I really had to really learn how to maneuver and how to survive that environment. And so when I'm talking to my husband this weekend and I'm looking back and I'm starting to connect certain dots of, okay, what is the underlying belief system that I have? And why do I have that belief system about my weight loss journey and about being healthy? And why do I resent the gym? And why is the gym such a place of trepidation for me? Why do I feel so insecure walking into a gym when this was something that I used to love? And it just did not click until I started telling him my story of being in that gym and having that lady berate me that way. And that's kind of where it started to go downhill for me, coupled with all the other experiences that I talked about. And so I'm okay working out at home. I still don't want to, because now my thing was, when I really got to be like an angsty teenager, I was like, I'm not doing it. So the rebellion in me kicked in, and I was like, I resent the fact that I even have to do this. Like, I'm not peeing on another stick. I'm not eating another dry rice cracker. I'm not eating another Melba toast. I'm not eating another nothing. I'm going to eat these Doritos and I'm going to be fat and happy. And that was the position and the vow that I took, was that I'm not going to do that, because I resent the fact that I have to do that, because it was presented in a way of, if you don't do this, you will not be accepted. It had absolutely nothing to do with them wanting me to be healthy. And it had everything to do with the fact that they didn't like the way I looked. I have to be very clear and call a thing a thing. I'm not going to say, oh, well, they meant well. No, they didn't. And that's something that I had to come to grips with in my own self. I'm not going to give them the excuse of, oh, they meant well, they just didn't have the tools to tell you. No, there's nothing healthy or loving about an adult sitting a child down, holding her arm up, pinching her fat, and asking her, why is she so fat? There is no loving thing about that. That's called shame and condemnation. And that's what I grew up with. And yes, when you get older, you get information, you know better, you do better. But when you're coming from a traumatic place, you don't always understand. You can have knowledge and still not know what to do with it. And that was the case for me. I had all of this knowledge. I knew the things to do, but there was a part of me inside that didn't want to do those things because I resented having to do those things, because there was still that wounded part of me that felt like, well, I was forced to have to do this. And now I really do have to do this because I have some health issues, but the inner child in me does not distinguish between the two. It's still a point of resentment. I hope that makes sense to those of you who are listening. This is my story. I'm not speaking for anybody else. I'm telling you my pathology. I'm telling you my testimony. So take what I say with a grain of salt. This is not advice. I'm not telling you what to do for your life. I'm telling you what has impacted my life and the connections that I'm making for me, in hopes that it will encourage you if you have a similar story as me. But I am not giving you advice and telling you what to do. You're going to have to figure that out on your own, just like I did. And that means you're going to have to do the work and feel the feelings and admit, everything, and speak your truth. And that's really what I'm doing in this video, is speaking my truth about how I view fitness and exercise, and how I'm having to now at 47 years old reclaim those moments. Because were they taken from me? Yes. Did I have a responsibility once I became an adult to stop that pathology? Absolutely, 100%. But did I have the revelation? No, I didn't always have the revelation. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know the root of it. And I want to say this, sometimes it takes time for you to figure out or get to the root of a problem. You might have a few clues here and there. And for me, that's what has caused the up and down, up and down. I'm figuring it out. I'm not figuring it out. I'm getting it. I'm not getting it. I make progress. I fall behind. For me, that's why. Is because I did not understand the emotional layer of things. So here I am trying to implement practical things that absolutely do work 100%. However, the mindset is still at 12 years old. The mindset is still at 8 years old. The mindset is still at 13 years old. And so when you're trying to do all the practical things that you know to do, but your mindset and your belief system is stuck at the point of trauma, it is not going to work. It's not going to work. Because you have to go back to that moment and reclaim it. You have to go back to that age and heal that thing. Get that thing healed. You have to rip out the old messaging and put in the new messaging. And let me just tell you, it's not a one and done thing. It's not an overnight thing. You have to constantly be unearthing the messages that you received at the point of trauma and replace it with the proper messaging. And that takes time. And that's the thing that I did not understand, because I was operating out of fear, in the fear of hurry up and fix it, hurry up and fix it, hurry up and fix it. Only I couldn't hurry up and fix it because I didn't have all the information that I needed at the time. Now I'm just now at a place where I'm beginning to realize, wait a minute. This is connected to this, which is connected to this, which is why you do this. But if I hadn't allowed myself to go on that journey and just keep digging, I will always stay where I'm at. If I haven't decided to say, you know what, I'm tired of being tired, I'm tired of battling this thing and not having the answer, and sometimes being so close but feeling so far still, being so far still, I had to get to that point. And so this is what I wanted to share with you today. Maybe for you, there's some things in your life that you have to go back and reclaim that moment for yourself. And what does that look like? Well, I can only tell you what it looks like for me. So it took years for me to get in this condition. So it's going to take a minute for me to get out of this condition. The first thing that I had to realize was it's not going to be an overnight fix. I didn't get this way overnight. This is an accumulation of years of bad messaging, limiting belief system, so many different layers of things, right? So that's the first thing that I had to realize. The second thing that I had to realize is, guess what? I deserve it. And I'm worthy of it. And that's just the truth. I was made in the image of God. God took his time making me. So if God took his time making and designing me, that speaks to my worthiness. That speaks to the fact that I have worth and I deserve to be and live in a body that serves me well. I deserve that. And it's okay to say that out loud. But for so many years, I didn't feel that I was worthy or that I deserved that. And part of that is because I was striving to make other people happy instead of doing what made me happy and what I loved. And I had to ask myself, well, what was the thing that you loved? And it was weightlifting. It was lifting weights. It was body sculpting. And so once I figured out, well, if that's the thing that you loved, why do you not like it now? Oh my gosh, you hear the baby, right? Why do you not like it now? And I am like, well, all of these things. Well, guess what? Those things are true, but there also is going to come that moment in your journey where you cannot let what happened to you define who you are or give you the excuse to stop trying. And that's tough love. I could sit for the rest of my life and be like, well, I'm this way because they made me this way. No, I'm this way because, yeah, it may have started with them, but I certainly was a participant. Remember I said earlier, the rebelliousness kicked in and I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm going to eat this. Well, here we go. So you have to take responsibility for your part in it too. You might have started out with other people placing their demands on you, but at some point in time, you participated in that too. So in order for you to rectify the problem, you have to hold yourself accountable. And that's where I'm at right now. And so what does that look like for me? That looks like this is the agreement that I've made with myself because I'm realizing I can't just jump right into pumping iron because this body has not worked out in a minute. So I have to take baby steps. Well, for me, I need to walk 1 mile a day, at least 5 times a week. At the very least, I walk a mile. This is my second week. I got 3 days last week. I am shooting for 5 days this week. And that is my agreement. Why? Because I matter. Because I deserve it. Not because I'm trying to hurry up and fix it, but because my body needs this. My body is trying to tell me, listen, I need you to move. I need certain things. That's the best way that I can love myself. And this is where you have to become your own advocate. This is where you have to stop working against yourself. Stop sabotaging yourself. Been there, done that. Stop telling yourself the excuses. Oh, tomorrow I'll do it. Oh, it's too late in the day. Oh, I still have the laundry. Let me tell you something. That laundry is still going to be there. The dirty behinds will still need to be washed after you get back from your walk. The dishes will still be in the sink after you get back from your walk. You need to just do what you need to do. Take the moment for yourself. Go do your workout. 30 minutes, 20 minutes. If you can only do 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Sometimes all I have is 15 minutes, and I will literally do a 15-minute walk at home workout on YouTube. And there's so many resources available to us now that you don't even need a gym. You can do it right in the comfort of your own home. But the objective is do it for you. Do it because you are worthy. Do it because you deserve it. Do it because that's what your body needs. Do it because if you don't move, if you don't put it in forward motion, you will stay stagnant and you will be stuck. You will be perpetually stuck and unhappy and uncomfortable where you are. And while I recognize, again, it might have started with my family, but guess what? Can I tell you, all of them have passed away with the exception of my sister. So there's nobody for me to answer to anymore. Absolutely nobody. But can I tell you, the message still lives up here? I still feel like I'm having that conversation with them up here. And, at some point, I have to take the reins of control back and say, you know what? No. I have to interrupt those thoughts and those messages and put in another message. You have the power to do that. The only person that's going to get you out of that situation is you. Nobody can walk for me. Nobody can lift the weights for me. Nobody can lose the weight for me. I have to do that. I have to participate with the process. I have to participate with my rescue. Yes, I believe in the Lord. Yes, do I need the strength of God? Absolutely. Because the reality is I don't want to. You think that I just wake up one day and be like, you know what, I think I want to do this again. No, I don't. I have to constantly be fighting against all the excuses that I'm trying to give myself on a daily basis. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's too late. Oh, the day got away from me. Oh, what about tomorrow? Okay, tomorrow, Tamara, you'll do it tomorrow. No, I can't give myself those excuses anymore because those excuses do not yield the results that I'm looking for. They just don't. And at some point, I have to put on my big girl panties and be the grown woman that I am and take responsibility for myself. And so that is what I'm doing. And so, I'm going to the gym. I have a gym in my community that I'm already paying for through my homeowners association. So essentially it's free. I don't have to pay a membership like a regular gym. And I have all the benefits of all the machines at my disposal. But can I tell you the insecurity that rises up in me every time I walk into that building and I see it full of other people working out? The first thing that I think about is, oh my God, they're looking at me. Oh my gosh, I feel a little insecure. I feel I don't look like everybody else. They're probably making fun of me or whatever, what have you. And that's just simply not true. And let me tell you something, even if it is, what other people think of me is none of my business. I cannot control it. I cannot stop it. I cannot make them stop. If people are going to look at me, they're going to look at me. I can't control what other people do with their eyeballs. I can only control what I'm doing. And why does it matter that they're looking? I'm not there for them. I'm there for me. That's my time. And I deserve to take up space just like everybody else in the gym. So yes, I'm going to get my little roly-poly self up on that treadmill and I'm going to walk. And if anybody has a problem with it, that's their problem. That's not my problem. I'm not going to continue my life wearing the labels that other people put on me. I'm not going to continue to live my life with people projecting their insecurities and their issues onto me. I have enough of my own. So if they don't want to see me on the treadmill, then don't come or look someplace else. Direct your eyeballs someplace else because I'm going to be up on that treadmill because I need to be on that treadmill for me. And I deserve to take the space to do that. And I'm paying for it. So yeah, I really do deserve to be there just as much as anybody else. And these are the things that I have to tell myself when I have a moment of trepidation of, oh my gosh, I feel a little insecure, you know. And it's a struggle. I'm not even going to sit up here and pretend like I've got it all figured out. I have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm still in progress. I'm still in motion. I'm still figuring it all out. But one thing that I know that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to give up. I am not going to give in. I cannot afford to do that anymore. Right? Because I deserve to be in a healthy body. And for me, it's not about being skinny. It's more about me getting off of blood pressure medicine. It's more about me getting my blood sugar levels lower, so that I can prevent some of the hereditary diseases that run in my family, so that I can be here to raise my children and see them live a healthy life and be around for it and to enjoy my life. So I said all that to say it's no longer about the voices in my head. It's no longer about the bad messaging that I received as a child and the abuse and the trauma that I went through. It may have started with that, but guess what? That's not how we're ending. We're not, nope. We're interrupting that. We have to interrupt the patterns and introduce something new. So if you're like me, and you struggle in this area and you've been wondering, why can't I seem to get it together? Ask yourself the question. When was the moment that things changed for you? Did you used to like it and suddenly you stopped liking it? What was the thing that pulled you away from it? What is it that you need to reclaim from your childhood? And reclaim that from it may not have been in your childhood. It could have been a year ago. But what was taken from you? What was siphoned from you that perhaps you need to reclaim back for yourself? Because it's yours. And you deserve it. And you should. That's all I got for you. I hope that this message was an encouragement to you. I hope that you got something out of my testimony. And go get them, because I'm going to get mine. And I love you. God loves you more. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.